Hola, children. All right, make sure y'all hit the like button. I'm gonna go charge up my phone. Hola, Yesel and Natalie. I'm gonna go charge up my phone real quick. It's about to die. Hold on. All right. Hey, everybody. Again, I was over there. I had to go plug in my phone. All right. All right. Today is page 140. All right. We're gonna do data analysis again. All right. What's up, A Marie? What's up, Bree? A Marie. Okay, so before we get started, I want all of y'all to know I just got off the like a little iPad conference or whatever. So I was on a conference with the little iPad or whatever, and the principal was on there, Miss Trejo was on there, and Miss Lewis was on there. And what we did was all your teachers are deciding who needs to come to summer school and who don't. All right. So what's going to happen is if we think you need to come to summer school, we're going to mail you a letter that says you either are recommended or you are required. All right. So let me tell you the difference between recommended and required. If we recommend you for summer school, that means it's not required. That means that we think you would benefit more by summer school, especially if you're finna go into middle school. We think you need more practice before you go into middle school. So recommended, I'm sorry, I'm shaking the thing. Recommended means you don't have to come, but we think it's beneficial for you to come, especially if you're going into 6th grade. Because we don't think you all the way ready, but we ain't gonna want to hold you back. All right. That's recommended. Required means you gotta come, or we have the ability to fail you. Right. So some of y'all are gonna get letters in the mail. Not all of y'all are gonna get letters. If you don't get a letter, that means you ain't got to go to summer school. All right. So not all of you are going to get a letter, but the ones that do get a letter, you got to look at it and see whether it says recommended or required. Again, recommended means we recommend you come. We think you should come, but you don't have to. It's not mandatory. We think it's best for you though. Required means you gotta come, which means if you don't come, we can decide to fail you, right? So some will say recommended, some will say required. Right? If you are in my class, I can tell you which one is which. Right? If you want to know that right now, give me a thumbs up. I'll type it in. Type in a thumbs up if you want to know. All right, cool. All right, so let me get my list real quick. All right. So look, if you're Gabby or Raya or whatever that, then they're gonna get theirs from Mr. Lopez and Miss Marcel or Miss Harris and Miss Garcia and Miss Patrick. But these are for the kids that take me. You know, Garcia, Trejo homeroom, Lewis homeroom, or Trey Ham. All right. So your real teacher is gonna be the one that decides it. So I know some like Tarek and some of y'all in here that don't take me. You'll have to get that information from your real teacher. All right. But I have my kids. So from my homeroom, Amarion is recommended. Michaela is required. Chris is recommended. Yasel is recommended. Carol is recommended. Bieberlin is recommended. Caleb is recommended. Joanna is recommended. And Jose is recommended. Now, you're saying, but mister, I'm doing good in math. Yes, but all three teachers have to agree. So just because you're good in math don't mean you won't be recommended from reading or science, and vice versa. So that means one out of the three teachers said that they recommend you come to summer school. That's all. All right. So that's my homeroom. Again, my homeroom was Amarion recommended, Michaela required, Chris recommended, Yasel recommended, Carol recommended, Bieberlin recommended, Caleb recommended, Joanna recommended, and Jose recommended. All right. For Miss Lewis homeroom, Kenneth recommended, Landry recommended, Warner, you need to get with Miss Trejo. Warner, you have a 69 in science. So if you can get with Miss Trejo, you'll have a chance to pull that up. So Warner, if you on here, or if y'all talk to Warner, tell her she need to pull up her grade. She only need one more point. Abraham is recommended. Brianna is recommended. Andy is recommended. Lanaya is recommended. Gregory is recommended. Valeria is recommended, but only for language, right? So you'll deal more with English and Spanish. Yaylin is recommended, of course, and Natalie is recommended. All right. Again, that's all you need is one out of the three teachers to say you recommend it. So you could be doing good in math, but if your reading is kind of behind or if your science is kind of behind, then they can recommend you. The only one that's failing is Wana. If I didn't tell you your exact grade, that means you passing. It's just that your teacher is recommending that you need more help from summer school. Oh, Marie, you need to turn in your science stuff because Miss Trejo says turn in science. I don't know if you can see. Marie, turn in science. I don't know if you can see that. Right? So yeah, you need to give Miss Trejo, Marie. Okay. Again, recommended means we recommend that you come to summer school to get a little bit more help because otherwise you're going to be behind in sixth grade. Required means you got to come to summer school. Otherwise, you're giving us the ability to make a decision to fail you or not. All right. Marie, Miss Trejo is on Class Dojo. All right. Now, Miss Trejo homeroom. Debbie is required. Jefferson required. Danilo required. Yadira Gomez required. Amy is required. Glennie is required. No, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. Debbie is recommended. Jefferson recommended. Danilo recommended. Yadira Gomez recommended. Amy recommended. Kelvin is required. Glennie is required. Emily Molina is recommended. Alfredo is recommended. Eder, which is the new kid that came, Eder is recommended. Miss Soria, Eliana Soria is recommended. Joseph is recommended. Madeline and Emmeline both recommended. All right. Again, you're going to get a letter in the mail. The difference between recommended and required is this. Recommended means we're recommending you for summer school because we don't want you to go to 6th grade. You're a little behind, but we could pass you, but we recommend you coming to summer school because you do have a little bit of gaps in your learning. That's recommended. Required means we got enough evidence to where we require you to come to summer school, and if you don't, you're giving us the reason to fail you. All right. Now, summer school will be virtual. It will be online. It won't be in the classroom, so you don't have to worry about, I'm going up there for the coronavirus and all. Nah, don't worry about it. All right. Hey Marie, if your address is at your aunt's house, then whenever we mail it out, just get it from your aunt's house. All right. Now, I've been telling some of y'all need to reach out to y'all teachers. So Mariah and Gabby, make sure y'all reaching out to Mr. Lopez and Ms. Marcel, or Miss Harris, Miss Patrick, and Miss Garcia on Class Dojo or whatever they on. Because I can't tell y'all. I can only tell y'all that I've been telling them that y'all do work with me. Mr. Trahan, my mom was like, you going to summer school, but you didn't say my name. I did say your name, Jacayla. Jacayla. Oh, no, I didn't. I had Jacayla wrote down, but I scratched it out. You should be good, Jacayla. Juana, I know you just not joining. Juana, you have a 69 in science. I suggest you turn in that work for Miss Trejo, Juana. Natalie, you're not listening. Natalie, you're recommended for summer school. Recommended. The only person that I know that's failing for grades is Juana. Juana is failing science right now. She has a 69. But grades is not the only reason you could fail and go to summer school. I keep telling you, I had this on the board half the year. All right. It ain't just grades. You think that, oh, okay, well, I'm passing all 3 classes. It's not just grades. It's other things. All right. Now, so what I'll do is let me teach the 3 problems, and then if y'all got any other questions, y'all can ask me after I teach. All right. It's only 3 problems today. All right. So thumbs up if you're ready to go. We're on page 140. All right. If I didn't call your name, you good. All right. All right. On page 140. Right. You have a split screen like this. You have number 1, then you have number 2, and number 3. All right. So let's do number 2 and number 3 first, because number 1 gonna take a little bit longer. All right. So we're gonna do number 2. Number 2 says the frequency table below shows the number of apples students ate in 1 week. Right? So I have a number of apples, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then next to it, I have a number of students that ate that number of apples in tally marks. All right. So 0 apples, 2 students ate 0. All right. And then you have 16 that ate 1. You have 11 that ate 2 apples. You have 5 that ate 3 apples. You have 4 that ate 4 apples. You have 7 that ate 5 apples. You have 3 that ate 6 apples, and you have 2 that ate 7 apples. All right. That way you can read it. Jacayla and A. Marie, I'll tell you, I'll remind you again after we finish. All right. So the question for number 2 says, how many students ate 5 or more apples? That means your number of apples needs to be 5 or more. So your apples should be 5, 6, or 7. Now, 5 or more apples. Well, 5 apples, there were 7 people. 6 apples, there were 3 people. And 7 apples, there were 2 people. So how many people ate 5 or more apples? 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 more is 12, which means the answer is D. All right. Any questions about number 2? If you don't have any questions, you can do the circle with the line drawn through it, or the Wakanda sign. All right, good. Now let's look at number 3 because it's easier. Number 3. The bar graph below shows the number of stuffed animals collected by 5th grade classes for a charity. All right. So at the bottom, you have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. But on the side, the bar represents the number of stuffed animals that they collected, right? So I collect, oh, Caesar, who just joined us. Caesar, we're on page 140. All right, it's okay, Caesar, I understand. I know you're still out of town. All right. On the bars, you have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. And the bars represent the number of stuffed animals. All right. Now, the question says, which class collected more than 35 but less than 45 animals? All right. So the first thing Mr. T told you to do was put the number above the bar, right? So if you see that this line is 25, that line is 30, that line is 35, that line is 40, this line is 45, and that line is 50. So about each line is worth 50. Each jump is worth, each line is worth 5. So if it's between, then number 1 is between 45 and 50. So class 1 is probably, let's say, 47. because it's between 45 and 50. Now, class 2 is between 25 and 30. So let's say class 2, say 27, because it's in between 25 and 30. Class 3 is between 40 and 45. So let's say class 3 is 42. And let's say class D, class 4 is right at 35. I'm sorry. All right. So if you look at the bar graph, based on where the bars are, class 1 is between 45 and 50. So we say class 1 is about 47. Class 2 is between 25 and 30. So class 2 is about 27. Class 3 is between 40 and 45. So class 3 is about 42. And class 4 is right at 35. So we put 35. Now the question is easy. Which class collected more than 35 but less than 45? So if you look at A is more than 35, but it's also more than 45. It's supposed to be less than 45. If you look at B, it's supposed to be more than 35. 27 is not more than 35. You look at C, class 3 is 42, which is more than 35 and less than 45. And class 4 is right at 35. It's supposed to be more than 35. All right, so the answer is class 3, which is C. All right, good. I see A. Marie, I see Miss Lino, I see Mariah. I see y'all typing in the answers. Good. Any questions about number 3? All right, cool. If you don't have any questions about number 3, you type in no. All right, we'll get ready for number 1 and we'll be done. And I'll go back to answering your questions about summer school. All right, number 1. The scatter plot shows the heights and salaries of members of a professional basketball team. So a scatter plot is just like a coordinate grid. All right. So on this side, you have the salary, right? Your salary is the money that they make. All right. And on the X side, you actually have the height of the players. So right here is the player's actual height. All right, meaning how tall they are. All right. Now, you start at like, that's 72. And then you go all the way to 81. 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. Right? And your salary is in millions. It's in millions. All right. So that's 0 million, 0.5, which is a half a million. Then you have 1 million, 1.5, 2 million, 2.5, on and on, right? 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6 million. All right. So what they're going to do is they're going to show you the relationship between the person's height and how much money they make. All right. Now, it's okay, darling. We're on page 140. So the height will be down here in inches, and the salary will be over there in millions. So the question says, based on the scatter plot, the reason why it's called a scatter plot is because it's out of order. On a regular coordinate plane, most of the time they're in a straight slope. But this is a scatter point because they got dots all over, right? Now, based on the scatter plot, which sentence correctly compares the salaries of a 72-inch player and an 80-inch player? All right, so if I look at 72 inches, on here, a 72-inch player is in line with 1 million. If you look at the grid like that, it looks like that. All right, so a 72-inch player makes about 1 million in salary. All right, so 72 inches makes 1 million. Now, an 80-inch player, if I look at 80 million is way up there and it goes over to 5 million. So 80 million is way over here. And if you trace the line all the way over, it's at 5 million. All right. So none of the other dots matter. These are the only two that it's asking about. So if 72 inches is 1 million and 80 inches is 5 million, then you ask yourself, which sentence correctly compares the salaries of them? So which sentence correctly compares 1 million and 5 million? Is it A, an 80-inch player earns twice as much as 72? So is 5 twice as much as 1? No. So that means A is wrong. B, an 80-inch player earns 3 times as much as a 72-inch player. So is 5 million 3 times as much as 1 million? No. Look at C. An 80-inch player earns 5 times as much as a 72-inch player. An 80-inch player makes 5 million. This is 5 times as much as 1 million, which means so far C is correct. But if you look at D, an 80-inch player earns the same amount as a 72-inch player. Is 5 million the same as 1 million? No. So D is wrong, which means the answer is C. All right? Good. Again, this is data analysis. Data deals with numbers and collecting facts about certain numbers, and you're going to analyze them. You're going to scan them. You're going to read the numbers. You're going to see what they're telling you, right? You're going to answer questions based off of what you're reading about the numbers. This is data analysis. All right. Preguntas? Any questions? Preguntas? All right. So, my children, back to A Marie. You said A Marie. Did you say my name? A Marie. According to my notes, I don't know if you can read it, but it says A Marie needs to turn in science work. So you got to find a way to get in contact with Miss Trejo to get your science work turned in. All right. Right now, you're being recommended for summer school, A Marie. Now, for those of you who need to know, Gabby, I can't tell you because I'm not your teacher. Gabby, you need to ask Miss Harris, Garcia, and Patrick. But I have told them that you do work with me, Gabby. Gabby, Mariah, Tarek, Darlene, all of y'all that's not in my class, I have already told your teacher that you do work with me for math. Miss A. Marie, I will tell Miss Trejo that you are doing work on Education Galaxy. Make sure you do work on Education Galaxy, and I'm gonna text Miss Trejo myself and says A. Marie says that she does work on Education Galaxy. So make sure you actually gonna do it, okay, A. Marie? Natalie, ask Miss Trejo how you can do her work. If you haven't been doing it already. No, Cesar, you're good. Don't worry about it. You're good, Cesar. It's okay, Jakayla. Don't worry about it. I know your Wi-Fi is going in and out. I know you're traveling. Does anybody else have any questions? Natalie, you can do Education Galaxy, but they still probably gonna recommend you for summer school. All right. Now I'm gonna say it one more time before we get off this live. There's a difference between recommended and required. You say, Mr. T, what's the difference? A lot of kids are recommended, but not that many kids are actually required. What you mean, Mr. T? If I called your name and I said you were recommended, then what that means is you are a little bit behind, and we would like for you to come through summer school to where we can at least get you a little bit more work before you go to middle school. All right? That's what recommended means. Required means we got enough to fail you, and we can prove why you need to stay behind. So if you are recommended, I recommend that you do the summer school. If you are required, you got to do the summer school, or you giving us the right to fail you. All right? Now, summer school is going to be virtual, which means you're not coming to the actual building. It's online. Okay? Now, next week, I'm going to teach you guys how to use Microsoft Teams. All right? So I want you to see if you can download the Microsoft Teams. All right, I typed it in, the Microsoft Teams app. All right. Now, you saying, Mr. T, why I gotta download another stupid app? Well, in middle school, they use Microsoft Teams already. Like my middle school kids have been sending me messages on Microsoft Teams. Hey, Mr. T, how you been doing? Blah, blah, blah. Their teachers give them work on Microsoft Teams. I'm the only teacher that does YouTube because YouTube is easy. but all the other teachers teach on Microsoft Teams. All right. So I'm gonna show you what Teams look like, and then we could go. We good for the day. All right. All right. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this is an app right here. If you look in this corner right here, where my thumb is, it's an app called Microsoft Teams. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but this app right here. All right, I'll draw a picture of it so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, Kayla, to answer your question, everybody in middle school has Microsoft Teams. Everybody. All of y'all have Microsoft Teams too. You just don't use it. You don't know how to use it. But Microsoft Teams is for the whole HISD. Everybody has Microsoft Teams. Y'all just don't know how to use it. And the reason why I didn't teach you on Microsoft Teams is because I know you don't know how to use it, but you know how to use YouTube. So that's why I taught you on YouTube. But anyway, if you look on your phone, if you got a Apple phone, then you can go to your App Store. If you got Android, you can go to your Google Play. All right. Now, this is the app, right? Let's say this is the app. Microsoft Teams, it looks like this. It has a little square right here, and it has a T in it, right? And then over here, it got some people. This is how it looks. And then it says Teams, right? That's how it looks. Now I'm serious. When you Google it, when you look in the App Store, you'll see, like, damn, it really does look like that, Mr. T. So I'm gonna go to my App Store real quick. See? It does look like that. All right. Yes, Miss Hernandez. You're right, A Marie. Miss Hernandez has Microsoft Teams. Good. So listen, what y'all need to know is the whole HISD has Microsoft Teams. So next week when I go live, I'm gonna teach you how to get in Microsoft Teams. All right. So if you want to, you can download it. It's a free app on your phone. You can download Microsoft Teams on your phone or your laptop or whatever you're gonna use. And I'm going to show you how to log in. You already got a free account, but you probably don't know how to get in it. So I'm going to show you how to do it next week. Okay? All right. Hey, Marie, good. Hey, Marie already know how to use it. It's pretty easy. It's real easy. All right. So I'll see y'all Monday. Make sure y'all have a good weekend, okay? I'm going to pull out the pool in the backyard. I'm going to blow up Austin's little pool, fill it up with some water so he can swim this weekend. All right? If you got an older brother and you got an older sister, ask them about Microsoft Teams because they already use it at Ortiz. All right? Yeah, tell them to show you how to do it, okay? All right. Y'all have a good weekend. I love y'all. Peace.